does that mean to you?
That's a good question. I'm thinking of
So, thank you, Savannah, for agreeing to do this. And you're fine with recording?
Totally.
Cool. And you got to look at the topics. So what I'm doing here is I'm just trying to take a few minutes to find out what people believe and why. And it can be anything. It doesn't have to be the ideas on there, but if one looks interesting to you, we can talk about that. And then I'm just going to ask some questions about the basis for why you believe something after in as short a time as I can make it. If you want to go a little longer, that's fine. Okay. And it's totally okay to say I don't know or anything like that.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yeah,
cool.
Perfect.
Good. What do you want to talk about?
Okay, so I was thinking, does morality exist without God? I think that's definitely an interesting topic to me personally.
Got it. And what's your initial take on that?
Well, my simple answer is yes, of course.
Okay. So you believe that morality can exist without God?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And what do you mean by what do you think of when you talk about morality? Like, what does that mean to you?
That's a good question. I'm thinking of murder and rape and things like that. Those are obviously bad things, or, well, maybe not obviously, but to me, those are obviously bad things and you should not do them. You also shouldn't backstab somebody, betray them.
Right.
Thinking of things from the Bible per se, because that's where Christians usually try to derive morality or think that they are trying to derive morality. Even the parables, they're good moral stories. Or maybe not even good, but they're just moral stories.
Right.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you're talking about the actions that people do that can affect other people and whether those actions are sort of okay or not.
Yeah.
You mentioned it's obviously bad to do something, I think you said. So, and I'll start my timer too so I can keep there.
Hi.
So in terms of having this morality without God, because most people, do you think most people would agree with that statement, that you can have morality without God, or how do you feel?
Christians would probably disagree, although I've never really talked to Christians about this. Usually the people that I talk to about this are physicists that are atheist or agnostic or something like that.
Right.
So,
gotcha.
Yeah.
Sorry about the plane coming by. So you're not sure about how widespread. Yep, right there. Right in here for you. And so would you say that, what is the main reason that you have for thinking that you can have morality and a sense of right and wrong without God?
That comes down to, I guess, nature versus nurture in a way. Honestly, yeah, that's a good question. I don't really know besides that. Oh, the sign fell down.
Oh, that's okay. I'll grab that. So, sorry, let's get that out of the way. We won't count this against my time.
Oh, no, of course.
So, nature versus nurture. And is it that, there are maybe some things that... Can you expand on that a little bit? I don't want to put words into your mouth, but when you think about where you get your morality from, because it sounds like you are not Christian, right? Is that...
Yeah, technically I am, but not in a sense of I go to church every day, or, I even believe what religion is, because religion is kind of ridiculous. But, you don't need a pastor or the Bible to tell you what's right and what's wrong, you know? And I think those things evolve over time as well. So,
Okay. So you think that you can figure out what's right and wrong without a pastor.
Right, yeah. I
And-
mean, and the way that you're raised as well definitely shapes and molds you. I think my parents did a pretty good job at raising me and, saying like, or making it known, or just kind of like, I guess they didn't even really tell me anything. I was just raised in a place that was full of love, and that felt good. And I think that that's, when you have that,
So would you say
you
that,
develop morality? I don't know.
okay, so you got your morality from how you were raised and your parents kind of
Yeah.
telling you what was right and wrong to do?
Sort of, yeah. And even going along the lines of it takes a village. I was raised by not just my parents, but by several different people that I've, grew up with in the past. Adults, all these adults that I was surrounded by that would take care of me while my parents were at work. I think they also had a hand in saying like, oh, this is right, this is wrong, like don't do that.
Right.
Like
Got
don't
it.
say that name's weird, because they didn't name themselves that. That was their parents' name. So, it's just what they're named, and everybody's
Okay.
different.
So from parents and neighbors or just
And
other
guardians
authorities?
and- yeah.
Okay. Do you think we always need an authority for judging morality? Oh, did you get a bug?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, they're pretty bad right now.
Spring. I don't think you need an authority to really tell you what's right. I mean, would you consider parents an authority, per se?
Yeah, I guess I was thinking of that as
Okay.
an authority. I shouldn't have introduced the word without you using it, but it sounds like hearing from people above you as you're growing up kind of shaped how you decide what's right and wrong. Is that
Yeah,
fair?
I think they had a hand in it, for sure. That's just me personally. And it also depends on the individual person's personality.
Right.
I think I always like to have everybody talk to me about things. And I always like to talk to them about things. Even like when I was 3 years old, I can remember. And so, if somebody's like a super introvert and doesn't like to talk a lot, they might have a different perspective, different view, maybe
Gotcha.
even different morals. You never know. At least I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not that person.
So you can have lots of different perspectives, and I think our timer is going to go off here in a minute. So we'll go another 2 minutes.
Okay.
That's okay.
Yeah.
So you're getting lots of ideas from other people, and by talking it out with things.
I think so,
With an
yeah.
action.
And I think that helped shape how I think about things as well. I was talked to in a very mature manner when I was 3 years old going up. So I think that was definitely good for me in the long run.
Okay.
I don't necessarily know how, but I think it helped. I have no evidence to prove that, but
That's okay.
you
but
know.
it sounds like that's the main source for your judgment, basically. Is that right?
I think so,
Okay.
maybe. I also just have like a feeling of like, oh, murdering someone on the street is bad, it's wrong,
Right.
Like that's not good.
Where do you think that comes from, that feeling?
Maybe like just kind of like empathy, probably. Just like I wouldn't want to be murdered on the street, so
Right.
I don't think anybody else would.
Yeah.
Unless you're volunteering yourself as like a martyr for a cause, but
Yeah, that makes sense. So just having empathy for other people would make you not do certain things that might bring harm to them or whatever.
right.
And then couple that with how you were raised, the environment you were raised in.
Yeah. I think all of that has like a combination effect.
Got it. And so that's an
You're right.
example of how you formed your morality without God. Is that a fair statement?
Yes.
And that's where your confidence in this statement
Yes.
comes from.
Yes.
Cool. Awesome. I think I understand. Yeah, that's great.